Officials think Gene Hackman died a week after his wife Betsy Arakawa. He left his $80 million estate to his wife and did not name his children as beneficiaries. Betsy, on the other hand, left her estate to charity. You won't believe what the FBI just found. A secret will be buried beneath Gene Hackman's hidden tunnel. This shocking discovery raises questions about his wealth, Hollywood secrets, and why it was hidden in the first place. Stay tuned. What's about to be revealed will shock you. The actor Gene Hackman went missing. Hackman was a star, not just another actor. He ruled Hollywood for more than 50 years with performances that will never be forgotten. At the time, he was known for his roles in The French Connection, Unforgiven, and Superman. Many stars stay in the business after their prime, but Hackman knew when to leave. In his work, he wrote about a lot of rough and complicated people and played good guys, bad guys, and everyone in between. In The French Connection, he played Detective Popey Doyle. Connection was one of the most powerful actors I've ever seen in a movie. He won an Oscar for his role as the mean sheriff in Unforgiven, and as Lex Luthor in Superman, he made a bad guy from a comic book seem both cute and dangerous. Hackman was a big star, but he wasn't like most Hollywood stars. He didn't go to fancy parties or do interviews all the time. Instead, he worked hard at what he did great work, and then moved on to the next job. He didn't try to get attention, he just did his job. Hackman was at the top of his game when he died in 2004. His last movie, Welcome to Mooseport, wasn't meant to be a sad farewell, it was meant to be funny. But after it came out, he made a shocking decision. He quit acting for good. He didn't even have a cameo or a guest role, he was gone in an instant. Why did he leave? He was said to have quit for health reasons. A heart stress test showed problems and his doctor told him to slow down. But for someone whose whole life had been movies, quitting so quickly seemed out of character to some. While most retired stars go to Los Angeles or New York, Hackman chose to live alone in his later years. He packed up his things and went to a 12-acre estate in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This was far from the cameras and attention of Hollywood, so it was quiet and there was no social media or reality TV. But was he just taking it easy in retirement, or was there something else he didn't want everyone to know? People were confused by his decision to leave. There are a lot of secrets in Hollywood. And because of shocking new discoveries made under his property, some people now think that his retreat wasn't just for privacy, but also to hide something. For many years, people thought Hackman only wanted peace, but after he died, police found something on his land that could change everything we thought we knew about him. What did the FBI know about Gene? There have been shocking claims that Hackman's estate has a hidden tunnel that Gene Hackman died. The Santa Fe police took care of the situation. The old man died of natural causes in his own home, so the case was straightforward. However, rumors spread that the FBI was involved and things took a strange turn after that. What do federal officers have to do with the death of an old actor? Hackman wasn't being investigated, wasn't in any trouble with the law, and had lived a peaceful life for many years. Still, rumors spread that someone had told them about something hidden in some people. Some people thought the FBI was looking into cash problems, a secret account in another country, and assets that weren't reported. It wouldn't be the first time that a Hollywood star kept their wealth from the public, but Hackman had never been flashy with money, so this idea doesn't seem right. Some people thought it had something to do with a missing person case. Could Hackman have known something about a case that hasn't been solved? Did he hide proof in his house and wait for someone to find it? Although it didn't seem likely, more questions kept coming up because the police hadn't given a public answer. Hackman had worked in the movie business for years with some of the biggest names, so he might have come across something dark and dangerous. Did he die with secrets that important people didn't want the public to know? It was never officially confirmed that the FBI was involved, but people in the area said they had paid the property a few quiet visits. If it's true, they weren't looking for simple wills and estate. The biggest surprise was when police found a secret tunnel under his house not long after he died. Word got around that Hackman's house had an underground passageway, but it wasn't listed in the deeds, and not even his old neighbors knew it existed. Why was it there? One idea was that it was a safe place for nuclear war during the Cold War. Hackman and many other Americans his age grew up around the time when nuclear war seemed likely. Some people built their own bunkers to stay alive in case something bad happened. If Hackman had done the same thing, why did he lie about it? It was also possible that it was a personal safe. Hackman was known for being very private. He didn't talk to the press, stayed away from them, and broke up with Hollywood. Could he have kept personal papers, expensive movie memorabilia, or even cash in this tunnel? For a more dramatic idea, some people thought Hackman made it as a way to get away. He used the tunnel as a backup plan because he was afraid for his safety, but neither his friends nor his enemies knew anything about him. Was she just paranoid, or was there something more going on? The police said they found more than just an empty tunnel. Some said it had secret papers in it that might have linked Hackman to government business, while others thought it might have lost Hollywood memorabilia like scripts, props, or reels of movies that were never shown. An iconic actor's last wishes should bring closure, but Hackman's will has only caused more questions. Even though Gene Hackman worked in Hollywood for decades and did some of the most memorable roles in movie history, he never went out in public. He never tried to be famous, and when he retired, he disappeared completely, going to live alone, away from the cameras. But in 2025, after he had died, a shocking fact came to light. His will had been hidden. It wasn't in a safe in a lawyer's office or a family safe. He kept it locked up and hidden so no one could see it. It seemed like he didn't want it to be found. Strange wills are meant to be easy to find so that the person's last wishes can be carried out without any problems. Hiding someone shows fear of privacy, or even an attempt to stay out of trouble. The real shock came from what was in the document when the police finally found it. His own children were left out. This made headlines in Hollywood. It wasn't just the law that made him leave out his children. It was a very personal decision. People were talking about the news right away, and rumors were flying around. Some were wondering if there were any unresolved family issues, while others thought he had chosen to give his money to someone he didn't expect. No matter what the reason, this wasn't an accident. He did it on purpose. The fact that the will was kept secret added to the mystery. Hackman had never been careless, was never known to have money problems, and never got into public fights with his kids, so it was already odd that he chose to stay. Some people thought he buried the will so that it wouldn't be challenged in court. Anyone who wanted to question his choices would have to first find the paper by burying it. He made sure that no one would see it for as long as possible. But there was another scary thought. Maybe the will had more than just instructions for how to handle his money. There is more to a paper buried underground than just secrecy. It hints at something important that should be known. If the will had final statements, messages about his past, or even information he had never shared with the public, that would have been in it. Hackman was never in a crisis, but every famous person in Hollywood has stories that aren't told in the news. His death had already been a quiet one, with no big funerals or honors in Hollywood and no family statements. Now that this secret document had been found, it didn't look like his influence was over. The legal consequences were huge, even though his kids were left out. People's views on Hackman could have changed if the will had named a different recipient. If the paper had information about things other than money, it could have changed everything people thought they knew about him. He had always been in charge of his life. He was picky about the roles he took on, ran his career his own way, and even quit Hollywood when he thought it was time. Now that he was dead, he seemed to have planned one last act that would keep everyone guessing. He went above and beyond to keep the will a secret by hiding it instead of giving it to trusted lawyers. That's a big decision, and the questions only got bigger as experts looked over the paper. Why did he hide it? What did he want to keep safe? The most important question was what would happen now that it had been found. Gene Hackman had been forgotten for years, but his story would not go away. Did Hackman's hidden will contain a long-buried family secret? Some people think it does. Shocking truths that he never wanted the world to see. When he quit the business in 2004, many people thought he was done with fame, but after his death, the hidden will raised a much bigger question. Was he also hiding a deeper truth? The fact that his last wishes were kept secret suggested more than just privacy. People started to wonder if the document held information he never wanted the world to see. Some thought it held family secrets that he didn't want revealed. Could it reveal a long-lost heir? Some people thought that Hackman's financial dealings had been kept secret on purpose. Hackman was wealthy, but he never showed it off. If there were unknown transactions or secret accounts, they would be revealed if this was found. Another possibility was betrayal, possibly within his inner circle. Hollywood is a place of strong alliances and bitter rivalries. Over the years, actors, agents, and studios have been, if Hackman's will had evidence of a personal feud, that might explain why he chose to keep it a secret. Instead of letting outsiders control the story, he took matters into his own hands. But the real fear was that his retirement from acting wasn't just for retirement. Hollywood has seen many posthumous scandals where shocking truths come to light after a star's death. Some people wondered if Hackman had quit acting not because he was done with it, but because he was done with it. but because he was distant. May have been Hackman's way of staying safe if he knew something bad about Hollywood, like people deals or hidden truths. The entertainment industry is full of rumors of corruption, cover-ups, and powerful people controlling the story. If Hackman had found something unsettling, leaving Hollywood may have been his way of getting away. After his will came out, people wondered if it contained more than just instructions for his estate. It could reveal an industry secret he had kept quiet for decades, or something that some people never wanted the public to know. Legal experts say this discovery could have serious consequences if the will contradicted previous claims about his wealth. Lawsuits would be inevitable. His children were not included in the decision, but could they challenge it if the will named an unexpected beneficiary? If so, it could start a legal battle over his assets. The estates of famous people often become the focus of long court cases. With Hackman's money on the line, the next few months could be very chaotic. But what would happen to Hackman's legacy? Before this scandal, he was known as one of Hollywood's most talented actors who put his craft ahead of fame. But if his hidden will caused trouble, his reputation could be ruined. People's views change quickly when secrets are involved. Would this make him a mysterious figure, or would it take away from the amazing career he built? The fact that he hid the will instead of leaving it in a safe place suggests that he was ready for the backlash. Maybe he knew that disclosing his final wishes would cause trouble. Or maybe he was hoping that the document would never be found. But now that it had been found, the truth, whatever it was, could no longer be kept hidden. He was one of those actors who never seemed interested in scandals, the media spotlight, or the never-ending search for public approval. Now, his name was once again at the center of a mystery that no one saw coming. Even though he chose to leave Hollywood, his legacy could now be shaped by things he couldn't change. Questions about the will were just beginning. Would there be years of court battles? Would reporters dig deeper into Hackman's past to find more hidden truths? Most importantly, would the world remember him as the legendary actor he was, or as the man who left behind Hollywood's biggest mystery gene? Hackman had spent decades avoiding the spotlight, but now that he was dead, there was a lot of talk about Hackman's hidden will and the mysterious tunnel under his estate. Fans, journalists, and people who worked in Hollywood all had something to say. Hackman had been a respected but distant figure for years, a legend who had walked away from fame. Now everyone was questioning everything they thought they knew about him. Had he lived a double life? Was there something he had been hiding the whole time? The internet exploded with theories and reactions. Hackman's death quickly became one of the most talked about topics online. Some fans were shocked and refused to believe that he had kept secrets, while others were fascinated and believed that the truth was stranger than fiction. Hashtags related to his estate were popular for days, and people compared it to famous scandals in Hollywood by citing examples of other stars whose lives turned out to be more complicated than expected. Memes, conspiracy threads, and in-depth investigations popped up all over. Online detectives looked at aerial photos of Hackman's property looking for signs of more hidden structures. Some claimed to have found blueprints of his home that showed more underground chambers. Whether any of this was true or just crazy rumors, one thing was clear. Hackman's life had become an obsession for millions of people. While fans speculated online, Hollywood insiders tried to make sense of it all. Some former co-workers said Hackman didn't have anything to hide and that he was just... Others hinted that there might be more to the story. Some said Hackman had left the industry for reasons other than retirement, maybe to avoid certain people or events. He could have been trying to protect himself. Some people thought he might have known something dangerous that he didn't want to be a part of. Others thought that his leaving was his way of staying out of the corruption and politics of Hollywood, with the idea that he had been holding on to private or sensitive information only. Even more mysterious was the will itself, which caused a lot of debate. People had different ideas about why Hackman didn't include his own children. Some thought it was because of family feuds, while others thought it was a sign that he had another heir that the public didn't know about. Legal experts said that the case could go to court for a long time if Hackman had hidden one will. There could be others if new documents came out that could change everything. The idea that someone could come forward claiming to be a lost child or secret beneficiary only fueled more rumors. If Hackman went to such lengths to hide a will, what else could be buried on his property? Some fans thought that more safes, vaults, or documents were waiting to be found. Investigators had already found more than they expected, so was this just the beginning? People who were once interested in Hackman's life and death were still interested. People who liked his movies were now interested in the mystery surrounding his last years. His choice to stay out of the public eye had seemed like the choice of a private man at first, but now some saw it as the behavior of someone with something to hide. The world loves a mystery, especially when it involves a famous person like Gene Hackman. His story was no longer just about his acting career, it had become something bigger. What started as a quiet retirement had become one of Hollywood's most talked about, shocking revelations. The link between Hackman's wealth, his Hollywood career, and this mysterious will brings up even more questions. Was he protecting someone? Could his sudden retirement and decision to live alone have been part of a bigger plan? Some people think Hackman knew about something dangerous, like a scandal that could shake the industry. Others wonder if he knew secrets about powerful people in Hollywood that he was afraid would come to light after his death. Even more intriguing is the idea that there are still more hidden records waiting to be found. What else might be buried under Hackman's Santa Fe estate if he went to such great lengths to hide his will? The idea of a secret safe or vault has only added to the excitement. The mystery has captivated the public, and the search for answers is far from over. Online forums are full of theories, while Hollywood insiders stay eerily quiet. Was this just an odd move by a private man, or is there something much bigger at play? Until all the missing pieces come together, the legend of Gene Hackman's secret life will continue to grow. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please like, share, and follow. To see more great videos, click on the next one that appears on your screen.